guys, BBG here. So today I'm going to show you how to build a PC and the precautions you need to keep in mind while building. So let's start. So make sure when you install it there is no, dust on the pins and nothing on the back of the CPU. Just like that. You close it. There we go. Okay, then second of all, we're going to use the RAM. We're just going to put it in one 4 gig, like this. Make sure there's no dust in the slot when it fits in, and stay aware of the gap. And on the slot itself, when you put it in, you take this clips back, you slide it, you press down until it clips in, then you know it's secure. Okay, then second of all, we're gonna install the cooler. So what you want to do is, this is the back of the case, and this fan blows this way. So what you want to do is exhaust the heat of the CPU out of the fan and not into the case. So make sure you point the fan in the correct direction. So what you do is fit it perfectly on the CPU so that it's not a little misplaced, because then you won't get all the heat out of it. Yeah. There, as you can see, it mustn't wiggle at all. Okay. Now, after you insert the cooler, I like my cases neat and tidy. Sorry guys. So I like to keep my cable management so that you guys can't see it through the opening of the window in front of the case. The cooler and RAM installed, what I do is use the graphics card. You're going to want to test first. I'm first of all just going to use this one because it's one 6-pin outlet. So what you want to do is just stick it nice and perfectly into the motherboard, just like that. And for safety reasons, keep a box under the motherboard, because if you can look here, then you see this piece of the card extends out, and you don't want to let your motherboard like hang on from the graphics card. It could damage some of your connections inside this PCI connection. So just use a box like this so it just hangs off. Then what you're going to do is just test if everything works fine. So we're going to connect our power supply with the motherboard. Let's see here. If you see this is what you're going to use, the motherboard's going to use for all the power to all the connections on the motherboard for the RAM and graphics card and etc. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to connect it, well, cannot go anywhere else but here. So, and you cannot put it in backwards. You see this clip, it's supposed to go on that side. So if I want to do this, it can't, because all of the connections here is in different shapes. So it only can go one way. So connect that there. There we go. Then we're going to connect the power to our CPU. This is why they are this 4-pin connection. This is for the CPU power. When you find motherboards with a 4-pin or an 8-pin for the CPU, that means it's compatible with overclocking the CPU. Then power supply. Then what I'm going to use is a normal button that I took off one of my old cases. I'm going to put that in the power power panel there. This is for all your connections, like your hard drive LED in front of your case and your restart button and power button. Oh, and don't forget, we need the power for the graphics card here, otherwise it won't start up. So my power supply doesn't support 6 pins, so I'm going to use an adapter. So use this 4 pin, connect it right in and connect it to the graphics card. So let's see, put it on the monitor, and if it boots up, you know everything is fine. Boot up, everything seems, yes, it boots up. So let's let me use this mouse. This motherboard supports to use your mouse in BIOS. So let's see that if everything runs fine. Let's see the temperatures of the so as you can see, it's the Pentium G2030 clocked at 3 GHz. So if we go, oh, and the motherboard is overclock compatible, so you can overclock your CPU, but the CPU doesn't support that. So let's go to monitor. The CPU's temperature is at 32.5 degrees Celsius and the motherboard's temperature is at 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so let's put this in the case. What I like about putting on the cooler first is that you can hold the whole motherboard just on the cooler, so it's easy to put inside the case. So let me just show you. So let's just move this. This is the backplate of the motherboard. What you're going to use in those hole, or in that hole for the case, to protect the motherboard and to just show your connections at the back of the motherboard. So let's take the case. So what you want to do is just take that as precaution. Just want to click it in there. Sometimes it's quite a bitch. Okay, once that in, you take the motherboard and you see these holes. You can use some of this connections or screws. Then you can put it in different locations for different sorts of motherboards. My motherboard only supports 4 screws, so this is the way they go in. Just get that back. What you want to do is check that the connections at the back of your motherboard goes in nice and smoothly. In there, see that all the screw holes line up correctly. So what you're going to do is, let me just get the screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's my screwdriver. What I want to do is make sure that you don't damage the motherboard while you put it in. This screwdriver doesn't have a magnet, so it's not easy assembling screws at a downwards angle. Just put it in. Don't tighten them too hard, you might crack the motherboard. I never heard of somebody do it, but it's possible. After the motherboard, we're going to put in the power supply, line it correctly up, put it in. Okay, Then this case doesn't have much power management. As you can see here at the back of the case, this small area for cables, and I'm scared that cables might get damaged with these sharp edges for the holes for the screws. So we'll see about that. So what you want to do is just take some of these cables and push them through at the back. Don't force them, because if you broke a cable, it might be a bit of a problem fixing it, especially if you don't have electrical skills. So you just take the first pin for the motherboard power and you plug it in nice and neat in there so it fits perfectly. And you just take the cable to the back. Then you use the 4-pin for the motherboard CPU. Just gonna back here. Then all that's done. Then what you want to do is get your CD-ROM, just so it's out of the way. See, this case doesn't support, well, it does support screws, but they also give you this so that you can slide it in and out. This is very good if you travel a lot and do a lot of upgrades. So, and if it's a very dusty area, so that you can clean it up easy. So you just put it in. Yeah. Oh, and it has a filter there inside. I'll show you guys later about that. Just want to tip the case. Then what you want to do is get your hard drive so that it's out of the way. You make sure you put the back end the correct way. Put it in how far you want it. Okay, then you just take 2 screws. You put them in the correct place. We'll screw them in. Yeah. There. Sorry guys, the camera's battery ran out of juice. So let's begin or continue. After you inserted the hard drive, you're going to want to use the SATA cable from the motherboard to the hard drive at your first slot, so that it knows that it's your primary boot up. For this motherboard, it's SATA 0. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. The lighting is just not good enough. For cable management, I usually do this. Just take it a few spins around here, then connect it up hard drive. Yeah. CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. Okay. Then use your for now I'm going to use, because I already tested that once, they already know it works. I'm going to use the GTX 460. Insert that. Oh wait, we can't. First we're going to use need to put in the wireless adapter. You just get that. Okay. Let's just put it in there. There you go. Then we're going to insert the GTX 460. It's a bit dirty, so I'll make a video how to clean your graphics card on the inside. That's in. Okay. I'm going to flip the case one side. Take the cables you're going to use. For now we're going to use 2 6-pin Molex for the graphics card. Just get the adapter for here, because the graphics card uses 2 6-pin external power from the power supply. It is a factory overclocked version, so you're gonna see. Just insert that there. Make sure that you don't like bend the graphics card too much. It might, not saying it will, but it might damage the motherboard. Just get it in. Go. For those that watching that don't know why I use it, the elastic, I'm gonna put a link in the description for the first video, or part 1 of this build, so that you can know why I'm doing this. For the extra 2 SATA power connectors, I'm just gonna use them here for the hard drive and CD-ROM. This is just a default setup. I can't do management to this because there's no holes that I can use, if you could call it that. Then what you want to do is, you see this, this is the USB for the front of the case, and this is the audio for the front of the case. I'm not sure if the audio in the front works, but I know the USB works. So what you want to do with this is, if you flip the case and you see right there is the audio. If you could just look right, there's the pins for the audio connector for the front of the case. Just see, can't use, just see here. If you look right there, you can see it now. That white thing with the pins. That's for the audio, and right here is for the USB. It's blue pins right over there. Line it up. Put it in. Get that out of the way. This you can just throw out. Well, I'm going to just put it at the back of the case because the front audio doesn't work. Then my front of the case doesn't have any LEDs for the hard drive, so it just supports a reset and a power button. So let me show you where that goes. You should probably just do this without putting in the graphics card, but in this case it's kind of in the way. So just make sure that you put the power connection in the right place. By my motherboard, it's the top first 2 from the left or from the right. If they were in, then what I usually just do, I just take this 2 cables and the nearest or closest hole on the back of the case. I'm just gonna put them in there. There you go. That should stay there for now. For cable management now, it's a bit rough and not neat, but it will do for now. Then what you're going to do is flip the case back. We're going to insert the exhaust fan this side. We're going to use one of these with a fan. So what I'd want to do is this side of the fan with the logo, see with this, is usually the direction of the exhaust. So let's just first just put the fan on it. Just want to up until it clicks right in. There we go. Well, all you want to do is take this cable, just put it over there so that you can connect it on the other side of the case with this extra 6-pin. You just connect it there. Just get that out. Right. Oh, there we go. Just want to fold this stuff flat. Get in the way. Okay. Then what you want to do is, I'm going to put the back of the case on it. This is a bit scratched, I know. Just make sure that you don't squeeze some of the cables at the sharp ends of the case back plate in. I'm going to use 2 screws, tighten that. Okay, the next we're going to do is put in the intake fan, this one. I did the same with this as this fan, just in reverse, so that the fan pulls the air from the one side of the, from in front of the case through the filter and out, well, and blow it inside the case. So let's just. All there, so I think it was just a piece of plastic in the way. So now we're just gonna this, and it's still too short. Okay, then what I'm then gonna do is just take this out all the way to here. Put this, connect this one with him. There we go. Him in there. Then what you're going to do is this case, or this fan, is going to be a intake. When this is done, this one is going to point this way for there, so that if the air comes in here, it blows the air this way, and it's going to be taken up by the CPU fan and then exhaust out here, and the other part of this flow of air from this fan will go into the cooler of the graphics card and blown out by the sides of the graphics card, and this fan will exhaust those hot air. So what you want to do is and we're ready to boot it up. So let's see if it boots up. Connect one of the monitor connections, the mouse, keyboard, power. There's the power. And then the power. So now it should just boot up and maybe just load Windows with it. So let's see. Power button, moment of truth. Let's see. And it boots up. Graphics card, BIOS. Let's see the temperatures. Okay. Both memory modules load up, but they're clocked now at 1066 megahertz, 8 gigs. Everything seems to be normal. Let's see. Hardware monitor. So the CPU's temperature is still 33.5 degrees Celsius, and the motherboard is around 29 to 30 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.